Hey everyone, good afternoon. It is Monday of week 9, and I just want to start by reminding you, because things are getting a little funky with the weather and whatnot, that if you are slightly behind on anything, just complete it as soon as possible. Remember to be checking for any reboot cards that are still pending in your grades tab. And if you are completing things, Canvas doesn't always notify me. It's kind of tricky to explain. So just send me an email. I'm still, catching up, but at least then it's on my to-do list. And I'm hoping to crunch through a lot of that this week, hoping for some good weather to be able to be in the office and have my hands free, not be following my toddler around the house. Anyway, real life, real talk. But I'm kind of glad that I was able to move last week, some deadlines, and just kind of open things up for you guys because of how that went. I hope that made it a little bit more like you could focus on that level about controversial books and censorship and whatnot. I hope you were able to do the self-reflecting and, just that content is challenging if you really let it be, if you embrace it. And I think all of us have our own sets of comfort and discomfort with different themes and topics. And so I just hope you personally got something out of the chance to self-reflect. In a similar vein, I'm looking at the calendar this week, and I'm realizing that it's kind of open this week as well, where you just get to read and work on your own for the week, and then replies coming next week. So let's talk through this. I do want you to reply by tomorrow night, by Tuesday night, to the In Defense of Controversial Books discussion. I hope that you'll bounce maybe to someone's post that broadens your horizons, or if you really just are drawn to something someone wrote that's similar to what you wrote, then go for it. Build camaraderie, build shared experience. That's fine. But always just try to be using the community to challenge you, grow you more, help you learn more, help you realize and discover more. And then on Tuesday night, we're going to do a preview of our final book. So similar to how you handled The House on Mango Street, check out the cover. This one's just slightly different because we're dealing with the final learning outcome for the course, which is, put simply, reading engagement. So you can evaluate children's books now in more depth. You can say, based on literary and visual elements, that one piece has, is quality, and here's why. But even if you, let's say you're a teacher, even if you stocked your bookshelves with the best of the best literature, if we don't have the skills to engage readers with those materials, then what worth is it? Or how valuable is having that bookshelf? And that's what this final learning outcome is really going to dig into. So you will share a nonfiction resource along with previewing that book. Let me exemplify this. You're going to preview the front and the back, and you're going to think, okay, I don't know what's in here, but I have some clues. So what article, video, website, information could I, if I was delivering this book in a young classroom, what would I bring in day one? Okay, class, this is the book, but let's all watch this video about, or read this article about, or check out this website or about, or look at these maps, or whatever it might be. But just kind of be thinking about that, because that's what you're going to share in the board. I give you about 9 pages of Russell to read as well, but as you'll see in the bullets below, you don't really have to read those by Tuesday night. I just think, why not crank them out? They'll help you set a foundation. I think they'll help you do the task I just described. Then you have until Thursday to read halfway through the graphic novel. Based on experience of teaching the course before, I think that it'll read quick. That's what students have told me. Even students who haven't read graphic novel before are typically shocked by how much they just cruise through it. But stop when you get halfway and, edit your original post. It's due Thursday. And then in your own time, stop and read chapter 3, which is really the chapter from Russell that breaks down this new learning outcome, reading engagement, methods for engaging young readers with literary material. Read that. Because I want you to finish this book, and I want you to be thinking, if I were trying to engage readers with this book and the parts of this book that I think are valuable, What might I do in the classroom as a mid-reading activity to keep them, enjoying it, to keep them thinking about it and applying it to their lives and pulling out the most important stuff, or just having a good time enjoying reading? And then at the very end, what would I assign once we're all finished to sort of conclude the reading experience? Russell's chapter 3 will give you ideas, so you're not on your own. And you're welcome to borrow his ideas, just customize them. But that's why I'm having you stop, because students in the past are like, if we do it at the end, they'll say, but now I've read the whole book, so I don't really know, like, my mind can't imagine what I would need in the middle of the book, because I'm not in the middle of the book. Hence why I'm like, do this and then do that, and then do this and then do that. It's just advice from previous students in your shoes. I'm listening to them, and I'm trying to share what they've shared with me. Okay, I know that this discussion flow is a little bit, it's a little bit different, maybe a little bit jarring, because you're like, wait, we've never done anything like this before. I mean, it is a new learning outcome, so I hope that you guys will just embrace it, open your mind, try it, experiment, take some risks, put yourselves out there. For instance, in your replies, you're not just going to reply willy-nilly. It's not just going to be a free-for-all. I want you to reply by doing whatever was assigned. Choose a project that you think is fun. Draw a picture, create a timeline, write a journal entry, do the poem. Whatever your friends in class assign, do their assignment as if you were a 3rd grader, a 5th grader, an 8th grader, whatever the scenario is. Why? Because this has always been, when I've taught this course, its own quest. So we read When Stars Are Scattered as its own quest, and then we read, and then we did this reading engagement project, like an actual classroom lesson as a big project as its own quest. And I just at the start of this quarter looked at our timeline. I've been watching our timeline, and I don't feel like there's room for us to have 2 separate quests. So what I'm trying to do is like cut back on the graphic novel quest, and then cut back on the teaching engagement quest, and put them together and try to keep the best parts. It's not perfect, I'm doing my best here to try to work with our timeline, but I don't want you guys to miss out on things that I know from previous quarters students really enjoyed. So it's not ideal, but this quarter is weird. It's 9.5 weeks and not 11. Or even 10 like other quarters. So just understand my intentions, and if you feel frustrated at all, just keep these words in mind. I just want you to get the most out of this that you can get. I want your horizons to be broadened. I want you to enjoy reading. I want you to learn something. You know whether you're learning or not. You know whether you're growing or not. So just be checking yourself and make sure that you get something out of it. And email me if you think of anything that seems off to you, or that you really do need clarity around. But I wanted to pull back the veil and just say I had to make some tweaks that aren't what I've typically done with this lesson. I think it's still going to work really well if you guys are open-minded to it and just give it a try. I'm not going to be harsh about it. I think we're supposed to just kind of have some fun here and feel it out. That's all. This is, there's only one quest left. And I've hinted at it throughout the quarter. It's going to be an awards ceremony. And then after that, there's a final impression. So we're really at the finish line, you guys. And I am a little sad, but also very excited. I love what I've seen thus far, and I'm looking forward to just continuing to read through your work and leave comments and grade and finish and wrap things up. Okay, have a great week.